Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 27 of the Skillless Podcast. It is I, Sif, and we are on now going to be talking about part 2 of the trip I just recently went on Halloween weekend. So, last recap, we went to California and literally went to check in the hotel, went to California Adventures that day, got soaked at the very end because we went to Oogie Boogie Bash, was a ticketed event, so we didn't have the tickets for it. So we went to the pizza place, then went back home, or back to the hotel, and basically rested up for the full day of Disney. And basically, we went and did all that. Went to check out all the lands. Went to get the key for Lacey. Went to go on our rides that we went to last time, as well as some of the new ones. I think I want to say, I don't remember. But anyway, other than that, we went and then went and checked out the went and check out the Earl sandwich for the last dinner part. Went to return the scooter, then start walking back to the Uber, and then pretty much started to head back to the hotel. And basically, we're now on day 3, and boy, we had it to where day 3 was supposed to be our it was supposed to be our rest day. So we weren't gonna do much at that point. Maybe just stay at the hotel or maybe go on a pool or something. But we ended up going out to eat at a breakfast joint, which wasn't too far from there, I want to say. I think it was maybe about like a little bit up north, I think. But it was pretty good. Like the stuff on there was pretty good to eat. I think I had what did I had? I know I had a skillet, I think, I want to say. But with like biscuits and gravy. But man, that was filling though too as well. So that was pretty good. And I and as I said, I don't know if I like said it in the last one. It was also they had like only Mr. Pibb, so they only had I think they had Dr. Pepper, I want to say, but Demetrius' whole thing with Mr. Pibb was pretty funny, and it was just really funny, just like going with all that at that point. I'm gonna have to listen to the last one and kind of fill it in. I'll fill it in here if I never talked about it. But while we were eating breakfast, Lacey I think she said she was kind of looking around and kind of like saying like we're gonna be going to the we want to check out the aquarium at least. And it's funny thing too, because like I was trying to think of like because we were originally gonna think maybe about the zoo or if not like something like that too as well. But ironically, most of our trips, at least the last 2 or 3, I can't remember. I know the last trip we had it, but we went to the aquarium. So, but this time we're going to another aquarium, which is a funny thing too, because like I don't remember what she said specifically, but something triggered into my head saying like, "Hey, wait a minute, are you talking about the aquarium of the Pacific?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's talking about that one." Like, and I was like, literally, that's a funny thing too because that's literally in my old hometown in Long Beach at that point, and it was kind of funny that like we're actually gonna be going to that one, and man, I haven't been to that spot in years. Like, it's crazy to kind of like think that I'm like because I've been around the area before, but I only drove through it. Like the first time we went to California back again in 2022, I basically we kind of drove around a little bit here and there, but didn't get down to go do something. And the second time I was there was I think with my dad to the Kiss concert, and then we went to Vegas that week too as well for the Raiders game too. And but that one we kind of just went past around Long Beach and basically just went to the a new San Pedro fish market area. That was opening up brand new over there, or not in Long Beach, but like in a close location or another close city, basically that they had opening. But this was probably gonna be my very first time in probably since 2010 that I've actually gone to Long Beach and actually kind of walked around it. So it's a little bit exciting, but also it's kind of just like it's kind of a weird feeling though too as well, especially like since it feels like you've been like you lived there before, but you never really gotten a chance to kind of like take it in, like even though it was part of like your first home, I want to say, but you kind of been so like removed away, like you've been away for like 15 years basically at that point. And it's like it's kind of weird at that point. Like it, you kind of live out here and where I'm living at right now for almost more than I lived out there in Long Beach. Like I only been there for maybe about 10 years because we moved in 99 and we left in like 2010. But to me, it was kind of like a strange feeling, and especially like I'm calling back there with my friends that I made out here too as well. So I mean, it's still pretty good and interesting. But after that, we went all got our we got the Uber ride, head on down there, and basically went to the aquarium. Which then we kind of stayed outside, and basically at least for maybe like a good couple minutes because there was a Pokemon Go raid going on. Which then I actually went and downloaded Pokemon Go again. So since I haven't played that in so many years, so I gotta clean out my Pokemon box at that point. But we went and basically kind of got our tickets, and luckily that they have a free wheelchair for buddy Demetrius. I was the one that was kind of mostly like holding on to it though, or like pushing him around. Which I'll tell you though, that Wednesday was probably the worst day for my legs and feet at that point. Which I probably should have maybe like because I'll give you a little like fast forwarding a little bit here, and then we'll wind it back. But like later on that day, I basically like went and like sat in the hot tub, kind of relaxed, and mostly massaged my legs because my legs were absolutely killing me that day, so, and my feet too as well. So from the nonstop 2 day of walking, which I probably should have done that for after each day, like just sat in the tub and just kind of just like relaxed my legs and just massaged them. Because man, after that, my legs felt really much more better. Same with my feet. But anyway, yeah, round it back. We were at the aquarium, and man, my legs were killing me at that point, and I was still pushing Demetrius around, which I didn't mind at that point though. It kind of at least like let me slow down a little bit and get kind of a reason to like be slow. But boy, man, wheelchairs and carpets do not mix well. But anyway, we went through the aquarium, and it's still just like as I remember it too as well. Like the big well that's in the main area, that usually has its own displays and like attraction. At the store on the left side of the entrance, and then there's a new section I don't really remember much. Was like an interactive area, so I didn't really much know about, or at least I don't remember about that. But it's a funny thing too, because going around, we also see the stamps area, because the aquarium has like a book pamphlet, and basically you can because I found my old, very very old one back in like when I was like still living there about like mid 2000s, I want to say, that I found it with the stamps on it too. So I wish I would have like, because I didn't notice that they had it right at the front, so I didn't get the chance to like to do that. But I found it at the very end, and it was like pretty interesting. And I was like, oh man, that's cool that they still have this thing too as well, because the stamps are still on the each different section for it too as well. So it's pretty cool. But we first kind of like went through the areas. We basically went through, started on the second floor, then went kind of around there. Saw a lot of fishes. Like, of course, it's aquarium, but we saw a lot of different fishes, and there were some like pretty interesting ones, and then some like really chunky ones. Like there's one that was like a pufferfish that was like really interesting just to see. Like it'll, and we were kind of joking that I look a little bit kind of like jacked up, but like it's also because it is a little bit jacked up because they found it like, I think, like sick, or like it was like actually hurting, that like it couldn't, because one of the fins wasn't moving as much. So, but it was pretty interesting seeing that. And I want to say we kind of went around at that point, did a lot of stuff, and um yeah, I mean, I took a lot of video footages and stuff like that too, but and honestly, like I think during that whole time, my legs are just killing me, to the point where my legs were just not responding well at that point. Like I was literally using almost like Demetrius' wheelchair with him on it as kind of like a crutch at that point. So my mind was kind of mostly focused on my legs, and kind of trying to make sure my legs weren't as like feeling as bad, or like trying to make sure I didn't put too much pressure on them because of like how tight they were, as well as like how like my feet were really killing me too as well, because of like they felt like pretty blistered too. So, but other than that, I kind of was mostly just working on like just kind of keeping myself good there, make sure I kind of like at least stay like kind of like at least joyful. I didn't want to bring the whole thing down. So, but even then, overall, I kind of still like enjoyed going through the aquarium, kind of like seeing all the stuff, almost like bringing back some memories of seeing these stuff, especially seeing the seals too as well, like the little hallway that has like two sides of the seals, like kind of like popping in and around, and and then once we went through there, we went outside to the back area where you can actually like touch these stingrays and sharks that they have over there. And as much as I wanted to, I kind of wanted to touch him, but also I didn't want to because, as I said, like my legs are killing me, and I didn't want to like bend down or kind of like move my legs as much. So I kind of was mostly just watching from the sides at that point, and basically just like kind of just trying to like rest my legs as much as I can without trying to push them too hard. And basically, like we were kind of just doing that, and then at one point we while we were outside, we decided to get some drinks, at least kind of like trying them out, and then like also I went to get some to rehydrate myself too as well. But while kind of waiting at the the food stand or the snack bar, all of a sudden I get a call like out of nowhere. I was like who's calling me right now? Looked at it. It's my buddy Nick and everything too. I was like, whoa, hold up, what the hell? He's calling me right now. I picked it up, answered it, and thank you for watching though too, as well, Nick. But like he literally freaking like immediately saying like, "Hey man, I got some issue to talk to you about freaking Little Caesars at this point." It's like, "Oh my god, really?" Like, oh, of all the times, the time you had to call me about that one too. So I was like, "Oh man." So and it was just funny, just like this like hear him talk, and this is pretty funny just hear him talk about the Little Caesars. I guess, which at one point I do need to get him at least onto here, if at least for an episode or for like a tier list or something like that too as well, if anything. But we kind of talked a little bit here and there, and even then, like him, like actually talking, like the reason why he also called too was because of he was wondering like if me and the gang like got to California safely, because I guess he just listened to that episode that I released that day, which ironically was a Wednesday because I always upload these things on Wednesdays as best as I can. But like because he was talking to me about like, oh man, yeah, you were talking about Bonicles, and like you're making me remember all the stuff like from the Golden Mask collection and stuff like that too. And I was just like, it actually brought like smile on my face that even he remembers about that too as well. So still, thank you for listening again, Nick, for that. Shout out to you, man. But yeah, like also I remember that Nick always been wanted to like talk to the other guys, or kind of like wanted to like at least know how the other guys are, and I was thinking, this is a good time since Stevan and Willie are here, and Demetrius too. Might as well like put the phone on for them too as well, and have them talk. So it was funny, like it was fun like listening to them and stuff like that too as well. And although I think it was a lot funny though too that like Esteban was trying to go like a Black Ruckus at that point, and I don't think Nick initially understood it at that point until he kind of until like they were talking a little bit, which hopefully that you kind of understood like what he was trying to say at that point at first, but no, yeah, like it was fun, like just listening to them, and just kind of like just getting caught up on like what's been going on and stuff like that too. So that's kind of one thing. At least I'm happy that like at least he kind of called in, like because I know he wanted to like know how everybody else was doing and stuff like that too. Which is funny thing too, because Josh, I guess he called up Josh after like calling me, and literally Ringo was talking about that too as well. So, but after we talked to Nick, we kind of sat a little bit. Played a little bit more Pokemon Go because we were doing it along here and there. Sat, rest our legs, and then we went to kind of like check a little further in. Wasn't really much, and then we went around, and I get they had a bird sanctuary where you can actually feed birds, and they went and at least 3 of them went and got birds, and it's funny too because I remember like when we got in. Like they immediately already get onto like I think it was Demetrius or Esteban, and they were already on there, and was it one of them like got bit immediately because they were trying to grab onto their finger, which I think it might have been Demetrius that got his finger bit because the bird was literally trying to get onto it. And it's funny thing too because even some of the birds were getting onto me even though I didn't have any of the cups too as well. So. But like all 3 of them were Lacey, Demetrius, and Esteban were feeding the birds, kind of like almost seemed like like Disney princesses with birds like commanding all of them, or like a Birdman, whichever one at that point. But it was funny, like interesting, like just watching all the birds kind of going around and stuff. Although it's funny too because like you can see at certain points like the birds actually do poop, but man, like the way they poop was like squirting out of them at that point. So luckily that whoever it pooped on, like it didn't, or almost kind of pooped on, like it kind of missed them completely with such the force that they were doing it. But like it was kind of like a little cool little thing that we kind of did. Went back out. We of course washed our hands, of course, and then went back towards the beginning area, kind of figure out what else are we going to be doing. And mind you, that this was like I think we were already there for a good couple hours already because we got there around maybe about like noon to 1ish, I want to say, and we were still checking out the stuff, and I think it was about like maybe 3ish, I want to say. Checked around, went to check out that little hidey hole, and we kind of went and kind of sat down a little bit. I went to go use the bathroom to kind of like get my legs a little bit more rest. Also, didn't use the bathroom too as well. And then went back. I saw the pamphlet. I was like saying, "Damn it, okay, that's right there." And then we went to check out the store and stuff like that too as well. So, and at the store, I decided to get like 2 postcards because I wanted to get something for my brother and my mom too as well. Since I was back in Long Beach, I know those two really love it or love back home and stuff like that too as well. So I went and got them 2 postcards. One was of the one was basically like a sunset look of the outside of the Aquarium Pacific, which my mom or my brother has, and then the other one is the giant glass wall or tank that's in the main general area that they sometimes will have like a little like teaching show education stuff and everything too for the kids and everything, which is funny thing too because like because it was a Wednesday, there's also a school field trip that was going on there too with like elementary schools and stuff too. So it was kind of interesting or funny seeing that too as well. But like yeah, I got those 2 postcards for those 2, and we kind of like went around, and after that we went outside because also in our next plan because what was it? I think it was also during breakfast too. I was saying like, hey, the Aquarium Pacific is nearby or is over there. I know what's also nearby is the Queen Mary, and they usually have like something haunted going on over there too, or it's the most haunted cruise ship basically that was around that was back in the day. And basically like we all decided, okay, yeah, let's do that, even though like like some of us were a little bit unwilling or didn't kind of want to at that point, but we still went or decided to go. So while we were waiting outside, we were trying to see what was the last tour. We kind of were getting it at the last tour of that of the day for it, which was the haunted kind of like walk around. So we went and grabbed our tickets, kind of played a little bit of Pokemon Go here and there, and then we went to get the Uber and then went to the Queen Mary. And boy, I'll tell you though, this is probably the very first time I've ever at least been inside the Queen Mary. And this was because I've always seen it from a distance, and I've always seen it like kind of like up, like driving by close by. But I have never been I'd never been actually like inside the Queen Mary at that point, which my mom actually kind of like been inside the Queen Mary so many times too as well. And basically she basically like she was telling me that like somebody that her our family uh that was dating at the time was like I think the manager over there, and so she went there so many times at that point. So she knows almost like the almost the Queen Mary like a lot more than you would think at that point too as well. But we went to the Queen Mary, although we had to kind of take like a wrap around because at the also at the same time too that the Queen Mary is basically a wait, hold up, was it? Sorry, hold on. I'm so off on my days. Like it felt like a Wednesday. It was actually Thursday that we went on because Tuesday we left, Wednesday it was Disney, and then Thursday was supposed to be our rest day, and then yeah, because I remember Halloween's on Friday, was Friday this year. So but yeah, so yeah, we went to the Queen Mary. We had to go around it because the Queen Mary usually has their own like a haunted little like a carnival kind of thing that they have going on. So they have that like kind of like set up already for the night or for like however time that they had it for. Kind of walking around, we went to check in the the start of it and then kind of wait for it. And boy, I'll tell you though, you really kind of feel like you go back in time on that cruise liner, because that thing, if I remember correctly, was built in like the early 1900s, like 1920s, I want to say. Back when like the Titanic or the Britannia, like when it was made during around that time of era of ships, like like you can tell it's a big vessel and stuff like that too as well. So it's like really crazy kind of like see such like an old ship like that. At least they maintain it well and like keep its history alive too as well in there. And Boston, and boy, man, it was humid on the outside though too as well, since we're next to the ocean too. So which was pretty nice smelling the Pacific Ocean again too. I'll tell you that much. Like that's probably the one thing I do miss is just smelling the Pacific Ocean. It smells really good. But we went up there, checked in, and then we started the haunt, and it first started off like give us into a little like area where we basically kind of like watch a little like historical video on like the Queen Mary, how like when it was made, the years that it was like going through, as well as kind of like little side history, because not only it was a cruise liner, but also it was also drafted into war during World War II. and it kind of got like, after it got like a decommission from war, it started going back as the cruise liner too as well, until 1965, 66 or 67, when it got finally like fully like decommissioned at that point. And that's when the city of Long Beach went and bought the Queen Mary to have it at its now permanent location of history, which then of course they take really great care of it too as well. But after that, they went and started off the tour with us, which then we kind of started walking around everywhere. And they had so many cool stories about, because this one was specifically a haunted tour. So they took us to like different tours, or different spots of the supposedly like ghost sightings and stuff like that too as well. And like it's really cool seeing the whole like kind of like the ship it is, especially like it's kind of like eerie, like if anything too as well, because of how the hallways like on the rooms is like so long that like it feels like it never ends at that point, just like going down the hallways and stuff. So it's pretty crazy about that. And at one point they did like give us to the to like some in the certain areas, but what was it, because they started off with one where like supposedly a person was in a room that kind of was smiling, all of a sudden disappeared on a chair too as well, which was also then cool too, because outside the porthole there were still the AA guns that they had when it was like a combat or like a like military transport ship. So that was pretty cool. So we kind of went through there. We went through what else did we? Let's see, because also we went down the stairs, and boy, man, those stairs were like steep though too as well. Like we actually had to wait for Demetrius a couple times too as well, because of like him and stairs do not mix well. But like man, it's they were steep. But there was like stories of like children kind of like being heard walking around playing hide and seek, and some sights of like of a of a woman who was kind of like what did they call it, like she was one of the many wives and kids that were brought across from seas to try to find their husbands after the war, but nobody ever claimed her at that point. So she kind of like disappeared, or like either disappeared or died on the ship, I think, or something like that. But like she's been heard to been playing on a piano at one point, like just randomly at certain points. And basically like it's been kind of told about that. And then there's another one of like although sad thing though, because also like it probably would have been very limited to Demetrius, that we didn't go to the boiler room or the pool room, because on the ship that is the most known haunted place on the Queen Mary at that point. And yeah, that's the one thing we didn't go to. But there was also another part where we went to a like mechanical area, and basically they were playing like at certain times they do like a training, like SOS training. So they close up, they use these metal like metal doors to kind of like chain through it, but because of how slow they were at that time, like I think they say it was like 2 minutes to like do it. That that sometimes the crewmen would actually play like chicken, so they would go back and forth and see how many times they can get through it before it closes and stuff like that too. But I guess at one point, like it wasn't because of playing chicken, or they didn't know how he died. But at one point, like they were like doing the training, and then one of the main controls saw that all the lights were light up except for one, and they saw they saw that that one of them wasn't light up, so they went and check it, and then they found out that that they see one of the sailors or mechanic sailors was squished in between it at that point, blocking the way. So he literally died from that squish. So they didn't know if it was him like trying to get back in or trying to run back out or something like that too. But supposedly that his ghost still roams in that general area because of usually women don't is not allowed in that area at that time at that point too. So there's been known site or findings that women will suddenly get their hair pulled or their clothes pulled and stuff like that too as well. And certain I don't know what else they said, but also then we also went down a couple of other decks down to where the most haunted room on the ship too as well, that to the point where like people actually you have to pay like if you can actually sleep in that room, and it's like over like at least $1,000 per night to stay in that room. And basically it's been known as the most haunted room because there's people saying that their clothes they're not clothes but their bed sheets been pulled off. There's been some certain sightings within or certain noises that's been going on in the room, and it's like really crazy just kind of hearing about that too. And it's just funny thing too because while we were at there, they were gonna have us kind of walk in there and check it out. But there's like two people that actually was staying the night there too as well, so we kind of had to quickly kind of go in and out. I do have video footage of that one too as well. Like it was very quick and stuff like that too. But it's a small room though too. Like it's kind of crazy how small the rooms are there too, and you can really feel like it's like an old room too. Like definitely like early 1920s aesthetic look and feel of it too as well. Like it reminds me of like my Wobbles house at that point in Zuni. It just kind of has that really feeling at that point. But after that, we went to a club, like a speakeasy area, and they were talking about that speakeasy, and at that point we kind of had like a split in the group. Although that group was gonna stay in the speakeasy because they're gonna take us into the front of the bow at that point because of and the way to get to the front of the bow is like very steep, like steep stairs that definitely Demetrius will not want will basically fall and become part of the ship at that point too as well. But basically the speakeasy goes into like the front bow area, and it was the tale was told that during its time of the wartime in World War II, while it was being escorted across the sea, one of the escort ships went in front of the bow of the ship, and it whoever didn't know like where each position was at, it literally hit the bow of the ship, and all you can hear was just an explosion off that blew up that escort ship in half, along with only maybe I think they said like 10-15 feet dent into the Queen Mary at that point. So like and they couldn't stop the ship at all too, because I think they said like to fully stop the ship and turn around, I think took about like 10 miles, I think they said. So whatever Piraeus escort or the ship that were following from behind was helping them out. But supposedly at that point they said that at certain times you'll hear kind of like a thunking of the bow, almost like you can hear like getting hitting the escort ship again, and screams and like shouts and stuff like that too, like as if it's replaying that moment all over again. And it was really dark in there. It was like pretty good dark in there, but all of a sudden it was freaking like hot and humid though too as well, since it wasn't part of the AC controlled or humidity controlled area. And then there's one that was there's also an area where I guess they have like a grill like that goes straight down. And man, when you actually look down there, you like and they even like got tour guide said like don't drop anything in there unless you don't want to like lose it forever because we're not going down there to get it. So, but because you can see like money and stuff like that's down there too as well for like I don't know maybe like a wishing well or something like that too as well. But like you see like a lot of money, but also like after you see the first 2 layers, you can see like it just goes into nothing but pure darkness at that point too as well. So it's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, we went out of that one. We went and finished the tour, and then they said tour guide said like, well, you're free to explore the ship now, depending on where you want to go. So we went to check out the. We went kind of walked that one way. Checked out the store, which I actually got one of the. Oh, I probably should show that to my mom. I got a bag, like a tote bag from them too, because I wanted to at least have some memory of the Queen Mary, since it was my first time there. And then we went and checked out they actually had not model kits, but like an actual model of the 3 ships that the Queen Mary and the Queen Mary and her sisters were built, like almost like a outside exterior and then like a halfway cut of the interior of how it looks. Each ship looked on the inside. So after we kind of like checked that out, we went and checked out the we kind of I got good video and photos of the Long Beach exterior. We were walking out. I'll tell you though, freaking like I don't think I got it recorded, but man, freaking like after I think it was after I got stopped recording, I'm kind of too busy like kind of like looking at the city as well as like talking to my friends. I didn't notice a concrete bench was like in my way, so at one point I immediately hit the concrete bench, hitting my shin of all things. And boy, that was painful to feel at that point too as well. And man, that felt painful at that point. I was like, oh boy. Oh, also we also did see since it was also nighttime too as well. We saw the carnival that was outside the how it looks and stuff too, and it looks actually pretty cool. But it was like $40 to get in, and we were deciding like, oh, let's just save that money for tomorrow since we're going to Universal. So then we got an Uber, went to go eat at El Pollo Loco, and then basically went back to the hotel. I don't remember. I think we might have like went and like no, yeah, that was the day. We all of us decided to like do our laundry at least at least for our wet clothes and stuff too. So at least we have something just as extra. And then we went and put our clothes in. I went and sat in the tub for maybe about half hour at least. And then got back. I was as I said like earlier, I was massaging my freaking legs so much at that point, and because man, it was like tight, and I could literally feel like the pain like of my how tight my freaking legs were too as well. And then went back down to get our clothes, kind of fold them, and then went back up. And I think I didn't fall asleep till maybe about 12-ish. I want to say 12 or 12:30, and basically went to sleep for the night. And basically that's the end of day 3, thinking that it'd be a full rest day, but apparently didn't. Ended up being a rest day, and we started basically going take a trip back to Long Beach, talk to Nick, Aquarium Pacific, Queen Mary, and then yeah, but yeah. And now day 4, which was Friday, October 31st, Halloween day, which is the day we're all excited for, which was going to Universal Studios. And me and Demetrius still, of course, got up early to get ready, and also then eat too as well. So we ate that day, or ate at the hotel, and then we went and got our Uber ride to the Universal, and what was pretty cool too. Like that guy was actually really cool, and he basically was like he kind of told us. I'll tell you like a little bit here and there, but like I won't give him his name because of because I don't want to like dox him or anything like that too. But kind of told us that he was a chef at a Blizzard, and also then taught us about like things that Disneyland does for autistic kids and stuff. Because Demetrius has some autistic kids, so like at least next time he can bring them along and like at least they have some stuff for him. But like he was telling us about his time at Blizzard, freaking all the cool stuff that he does. He even like showed us a photo of the thing, and it was even pretty cool that like he gave us his card, being like, hey, whenever you're about to come down here, give me you can call me and give me some time, and I can come give you like some discounted rides, or if not, like I can take you onto the Blizzard campus and stuff like that too as a tour. and we were all like, "Oh hell yeah!" So I don't know who still has a card, but like that was definitely something like we all definitely had to think about next time. But after that, we went and got dropped off at downtown, or not downtown, City Walk, Universal, which then we also then we Demetrius had to go use the bathroom, and it was really funny too because like because Demetrius and his crutches were a little bit slow, so we kind of were like he was like trying to get there as fast because he was almost having a cold yellow. And then at one point, like we were all, I think it was Lacey that kind of started running off because she wanted to, like, she needed to use the bathroom too as well, or all of us needed to before we go in. So we all went to the bathroom. But it's funny too because like because of how slow Demetrius was, we all decided to cut in front of him, and then literally Demetrius was just yelling at us, saying like, "Hey, you fucking assholes!" Like just every time we would kind of cut in front of him, because literally we would get there right before him at that point. So we all did that waiting, and I know all of us were pretty excited at that point too as well. And I earlier that day too, I also went and like wished my mom a happy birthday through text, and I even told my while we were walking through City Walk too as well. I was telling my friends too that like hey, it's my mom's birthday, and I kind of texted her saying or somebody, I think it was Lacey, saying like Lacey or Stefan, no, Demetrius. It was somebody in our group was saying like, hey, did you call her and say happy birthday? I was like, no, I sent her a text, but like I'll probably call her up and tell her happy birthday. So I did call her up, and then I managed to got everybody to say like happy birthday to her at that point. So kind of did a little talk to her, kind of made her day at that point too as well. And then like basically we went to, after that, after a little talk with her, I kind of went ended the call, and luckily this day was, as I said, luckily that I went and took the tub bath yesterday to relax my legs and stuff, because my legs were feeling so much more better. Same with my feet too as well. So even I did doubles socked my feet too as well to lessen the blisters too. But at least lessen the damage. So, but we went through security, and then we finally got our tickets, and we went inside because all of a sudden we went to grab our express passes, and then we went to grab our lanyards too as well, so we can hold the express passes in there too, which I got mines of Five Nights at Freddy's one too as well. So because last time I was there, I got like a Haunted Halloween Horror Nights one with all the main attractors, and this year I got the Five Nights at Freddy's one. So we went through. We basically what did we start off with? I think we went check out the store because I think some of us were doing there, and this is the point where I wish I had much more money, because all of the haunted Halloween Horror Nights were all discounted down up to 70%, except for the Five Nights at Freddy's one. Everything was discounted up to 70% off, which was crazy because freaking like I didn't get, like, thank you Demetrius for giving me the shirt, but if I would have known about that, I would have easily used the firm to actually pay like a lot of stuff for it too as well. Because freaking like the t-shirt that was like $32 was like $8.99, and which was insane at that point. I was like, oh my god. And I wish I would have gotten more stuff, but also like I had a very limited room too as well in my suitcase, which I luckily I didn't too, because I was starting to fill up on my suitcase. I'm surprised I even got through. But we went and we went through, kind of like we saw Beetlejuice. We kind of saw Dracula going around too as well. Like it's pretty cool too because he's in character, like staying out of sunlight, have his cape up and stuff like that too as well, and staying in the shades too. And what did we go for? I think we went to Hogwarts first, and we went there, checked it out, and well, it's pretty cool too that like with Hogwarts that like of course it's usual Hogwarts day and night or at the daytime, but at nighttime it gets converted into like where the Death Eaters takes over and stuff like that too, especially on the castle and stuff. But like but since it's daytime, we basically went through. We actually got our butterbeer too for the day, and we got our butterbeer, which is pretty good. I next time I'll definitely try the ice one, because I just had the regular soda one, which was still pretty good, because it has like, it's like basically like a caramel butterscotch soda basically, and they actually have like a whipped cream topping on top too as well. So that was pretty good to at least drink and start off the day. Then we went to Ollivander's, like a little thing for it. We went to check it out. We then, which was pretty cool, but as I said, like this was part of the day. Like I used my camera the most, and I wish that I managed to like adjusted the light in settings too as well. But it's for next time. But anyway, after that we checked out the store a little bit because all of us wanted to get something there, except for me. We then went to the one of the rides, which was the one in Hogwarts. I can't remember. And three of us, since it was kind of like split up, basically I went with Demetrius, and then the other three went together. And that's kind of like how it was throughout the whole rest of it, at least the day part of Universal. That we kind of went and split up between like two parties. It was basically me and Demetrius, and then Willie, Esteban, and Lacey on the other side. And but it wasn't as bad as it was till later on. So we went and decided to check out the Harry Potter one, which was pretty cool again as usually. And went out, got our stuff back again, and after that we went to the Simpson ride, which I was the very first time of actually going there too as well. But before we went on the Simpson ride, we actually went and they did some carnival games that was outside the Simpson world or the Simpson ride. And Lacey won a panda bear. Demetrius won a little monkey, and then Esteban was trying to get like another plush animals, but this one was definitely a lot more harder because it was the tossing the ball into the bucket. So it's like very, very tough at that point. But we went to after that we went to Simpson World. It's a Simpson ride. I did record of the outside parts of it, but I did take a mistake on what somebody was saying behind me too as well, saying like, hey, because I thought they were saying like, hey, take off your camera, but I guess they were apparently saying like, hey, make sure you take a picture or like take a video of this ride. So sadly, I did not record the Simpson ride because I kind of misheard them. But we went and did that. We then went down to the lower lot, but was it those three went down there first because also since it's Lacey's first time at Universal Studios, so we wanted her to make sure she takes in the sight of it because it is a sight to behold when you're going down the escalators and actually seeing the whole like outside of it, like basically the view of it, because you literally see Burbank, but also you see the studios as well as like just the areas of it too as well. And basically it was definitely a really cool sight to see. So I definitely like yeah, so it's something I would love to see again. But also then like we did notice too, like while like exiting from Harry Potter to like to Simpson Land, we noticed that there is an actual new ride there that it didn't they started working on, which was the new Fast and the Furious ride, and it was an actual coaster too as well. So that's pretty interesting, and the cars look like they're actual like Ford Chargers. So that was actually pretty cool to see. And the crazier part of this ride is that it actually goes over and under the walkway, which is really crazy to think about, especially the way how it looks. Like it looks crazy just the way how it is. That it goes over and under the walkway at that point. So literally people in the walkway will literally be seeing the cars going through, going over and under about that point too as well. But we split off from there. And we decided to meet at the lower lot. So me and Demetrius went through the handicap way. We went and checked it out, and then which is kind of crazy too, because like the way the handicap way goes through, they actually go through the back way or the back lot way too as well. So it's kind of like it's almost like kind of like seeing the whole lot without like of course the studio tour tram ride. So we went through there, met up with those guys at the very bottom part, and we went to go check out Transformers first, which was the first thing on there, which was pretty cool again too as well. And then after that we went to Super Nintendo World, which was pretty cool. Like I'll admit that whole area was actually really cool, like especially the way you enter into the tunnel, like really immersive at that point, like how it goes. And it's pretty cool. But I'll tell you that the Mario Kart ride was a little bit underwhelming, if anything. I'll tell you that much. Like, because you actually do go in there, you actually get your own cart, and you actually do have to like play as a team at that point too as well. Because it's basically like your team versus Team Bowser. But like and you kind of do like, because you get these hats, the Mario hats, over your head, and then on the rides itself they have like a little display that actually clicks onto your hat at that point too as well. So it's more of an AR experience, um, augmented reality experience that you're kind of like using you're kind of shooting shells and stuff like that too, which in the video footage you won't be able to see, but because you'll be able to because you're mostly seeing like from like the outside the view angle, but from the my own eyes though you can actually see like you actually are looking around trying to shoot at the Team Bowser's carts, trying to get points from them and trying not to shoot your own teammates. But and then turn at the course at the same time too as well, which is kind of cool too because sometimes like if your cart gets hit, your car does spin around a little bit too as well. But the at least the whole like looks of it and stuff like that too was actually pretty cool. I'll admit that it actually looks pretty cool. So but overall it was still a little bit underwhelming for the ride, and that was the only ride that they had there too as well. So but what's funny thing too that like at like also then I'll tell you though that the carts are pretty small because literally I must have had been the right size at that point because when I was trying to get out of it, I almost had like a little bit trouble getting out of it too as well because I almost had like the perfect suction of my ass that's in the seat. So literally when I went and like got out of it, I almost like literally popped out of it at that point too as well. But yeah, like I literally like it literally popped out. Like I literally popped like an almost. I think I made a like actual popping sound with my ass out of there too as well because it was like a perfect suction at that point too as well. But but it's funny. It was just pretty funny this like actually hearing that. But also then like what's crazy though too like when me and Demetrius were walking out, we kind of heard these fire alarms kind of going off at that point, which we kind of wondering like what happened at that point too. Because everything just went silent. The fire alarms went out, and we were kind of like we decided to get the Demetrius cart out since we were waiting for the other three, and then we basically went and we basically went to get his cart, went back to the store that we exit out from. It kind of were it was kind of weird like hearing it all quiet and stuff compared to like earlier where it had all the sounds and stuff going on. But like we kind of overheard, I think there might have been like someone that had like a medical issue that happened in one of the bathroom which caused somebody to pull the alarm because there's like a security people and I think medical people that went to the bathrooms that we were originally went out earlier. So that was a little bit kind of scary at that point too as well. So some of the rides were actually kind of like had to be kind of closed for a little bit just as a precaution for a little bit, which luckily we actually went on and we did too as well. So but like we went exit out. We then we decided to go to the tour tram. Well, those guys, we told them like, well, we'll meet you guys there or we'll like go after that. We decided to check out and see how long it, because we also then told them to just go on it too as well because like I knowing especially how long it took us to get to the bottom lot to the top lot. It kind of took us a long time too as well. So we kind of went to we kind of decided to try to go at our pace and kind of maybe hurry a little bit. And then go down there to check and see. And then we kind of went down there and kind of checked out the times like, let's just kind of just ignore it since it's an hour and kind of just head back up. Which we kind of didn't want it to go, but also we didn't want to go since it was going to be mostly kind of the same too as well. But also we kind of learned that like the Jaws part of the tour tram ride was actually open. Was actually on there. So we kind of missed that one out. But also like I was looking at another video of like the current look of it, and it was kind of like some minor stuff changes here and there, but it wasn't too big of a difference from the last time we went there too as well. But like still though, we kind of wish that we actually saw the Jaws one though too as well. But we went and we went back to the upper lot. At that point, that's where we kind of split off at that point to just me and Demetrius, and then to the other three basically doing their own thing. And we basically. Because at one point we were going to try to regroup again, but then we was like, just go do your own stuff down there. We kind of like are going to be like kind of be more of like a time consuming at that point. And because it was already getting late and Universal Studio closes by like 5:30 to 6 because that's when Halloween Horror Nights started. And then it was like already like 3 to 4. And since it took us so long to already get down and up again, stuff like that too as well. That it was basically kind of like it was not gonna be worth it at that point too as well. So we went to basically me and Demetrius decided to check out the Kung Fu Panda one because they were having a Chainsaw 4D movie magic there, and basically we went to check it out, and we went to check it out, and it was actually not too bad. Like the Kung Fu Panda one was pretty good. It was pretty cool too because you actually see all the DreamWorks photo pictures and posters and stuff that they did over the years. So that was actually pretty cool to check out. We went and checked out the stuff. We went and we went and checked out that one. We then went to after that we went around. We decided to walk around the area, kind of check and see where the haunted houses location was gonna be at. So we kind of went and checked it. We saw that there's the gate that goes past the Harry Potter land, which goes down to the lower lot. We then see where the monster house was, which we thought it was there, but I guess it was we were a little bit closer. And then we saw where the Fallout one was at too. And then after that, we saw the Purge, like the water world turned into a Purge part. And then after that, we kind of just like hang out, wait for those guys, and basically just wait till it went almost like changing time. And after that, we went and grouped up back again. And at that point, it was kind of in between transitions, so they already had the barricades up and stuff, and they were also like trying to like kick people out that didn't have like a Universal Halloween Horror Nights stuff either too, tickets and stuff. So we went and to like check out the Fallout food restaurant, which we were so excited for. We were so excited for this freaking for this one, but man, they were so disappointing. It was a disappointing food right there. Like it sounded so good on picture, but it was so disappointing. Like some of the food was like too sweet. The deviled eggs or the yum yum eggs was like sweet, too sweet for some reason. The Radaway bag was, I still have the Radaway bag because it's still a pretty cool thing. But like that one was like kind of almost like disgustingly. Well, the yum yum eggs were definitely disgustingly sweet because it looked like it was deviled eggs, but like it did not taste like deviled eggs. It was like a sweetened version of it. And then as I said, the mango habanero lemonade for the Radaway was a little too sweet for me at least. Like I was trying to like just chug it down at that point, man. That was a little like tough to try to swallow at that point because I didn't want to waste the money. The crème fries were okay. They were kind of slightly sweet too as well, but like they're kind of like okay at that point. Like they're like spam for some of it, and like sweet and sauce, but it was okay. It wasn't too bad, but overall it was a little bit disappointing at that point. Especially like I feel bad for Willie because he bought 2 of those yum yum eggs because we were all excited. That was the first thing we all ate, and literally the quietness, like it was like we were all excited. Next thing you know, like it was slowly like a slow quietness that all of us were all like wondering like what the hell are we eating, to the point where it's like, oh, this is bad. Like this is very bad at that point too as well. So we were definitely all disappointed with the kind of like thing at that point too as well, and especially for the prices that they were doing it. Man, that was expensive. But we I still wish I would have gotten the souvenir cups for that one that actually had Hunting HHN on it too as well. But at that point, we basically were just waiting for the conversion to happen all over. And that point, I will actually end it there. I really didn't want to end it there, but I didn't know that it took me this long just to explain just day 3 and just the beginning part of Universal Studios. And I know definitely with the Halloween Horror Nights, that's gonna be so much more to talk about too as well. Just because of like how much stuff we did, the experiences that we had at that point too as well. And it's just it has to wait at that point because this one I don't want to cram it into it at this point. I've been trying to keep this within at least like an hour or less, or even a little bit more than that too as well. So, but overall, like day 3 was really fun to able to go back to Long Beach and check out the area, especially even go to the Creamery at first point. And then Universal Studios was actually pretty fun, even though I didn't get to do much, and then wish I would have bought more stuff too as well. But it was still pretty fun at that point too as well. But basically, overall, it was still really fun of all the times. I'm glad I was able to wish my mom a happy birthday with everybody else too as well. And which made her day too as well. So, and basically, it was really fun. I'll admit it was really fun to do at that point. And still also to thank again Nick too as well for calling me and kind of giving me gripe to Josh and me about the Little Caesars ranking too as well. This was just pretty funny. I'll admit that too. So, but some little housekeeping notes. I am trying to get started on the video, but as I said, it's pretty daunting. I'll maybe like put like maybe full edits on certain stuff. I don't know. I'm still debating on it too as well. But I mean, I'm gonna try to see if I can start editing the video at that point. So, but because it is 17 hours long, is what I have, at least over 17 hours of footages that I've recorded from both the beginning to basically the end of it too as well. So it's like so much time, and this shows you how much like time I use, because I can give you the time frames on it. Like let me pull it up because I actually had to calculate the times. So day 1 was 5 hours long because that was both the plane ride and California Adventures. Day 2 was 3 hours, almost 4 hours long, because of it was like Disneyland and stuff like that too. So I wish I would have recorded a little bit more, but it's something. Day 3 was an hour long because that was mostly on my phone, and that was from the Aquarium and the Queen Mary. Day 4 was the longest, which almost at like 6 hours long, because that's, as I said, it has everything from both the daytime and nighttime, which included all the rides, and at least the rides I went on, and the haunted houses we did too. Day 5 wasn't too long at that point because that was a true rest day where we kind of went out to eat, came back to the hotel, and basically kind of just like a rest, and also watch a little bit of the Dodgers. Day 6 was about an hour long too, because there wasn't really much that we did. We kind of just ate, checked out the hotels, and basically went to the airport, kind of just waited there for 5 hours because we didn't really much want to do anything, or basically like spend any more money too as well. So that was kind of like the quick trip there. But yeah, the final runtime for all of it together was generally about 17 hours and 12 minutes. And it's a bit longer though too, because I found another video too as well that I forgot to put onto my thing, which was us like walking from one gate to the other, as I said, from Denver Airport. So that one was a whole long time too as well. So that probably might bump it up to maybe close to 18 hours that I have at that point too as well. But overall, sorry for keeping you on your toes at this point. It is going to be part 3 where we talk about Halloween Horror Nights and the very final part of our trip, as I said, and kind of a little quick recap. So, but that one may be a little bit shorter at that point too as well. So we'll see if anything too. And yeah, so that was pretty fun to have, at least at this point. So thank you for listening to episode 27 of the Skillless Podcast. Hopefully that you have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night. See you around, and see you in the next episode. I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I'm not.